All right, welcome back, everybody. It's episode 6 today. We got a guest on the show. We're gonna get into the what's it called? We still haven't got a name for it. The match guessing game. So we're gonna give this special guest, I believe, 3 different matches and see how many of them he can guess the correct score. All of them that he's won. He's a good friend of mine. He wrestled at Grandview. He was a national champion at Grandview. He wrestled high school in Marshalltown, state finalist. He started wrestling in 7th grade. I think he's got a really good story, a kind of non-traditional story. A lot of people started wrestling when they were, in diapers. This guy is not that. He started, I believe, in 7th grade. Doesn't come from like a strong traditional wrestling school. Marshalltown doesn't have a whole lot of history with wrestling. He also I think he was like the first or second one in his family to wrestle. And I believe he had a losing record when he started at Grandview. And by the time he left, he was a national champion. So we're going to get him on the show, talk to him a little bit about that. Without further ado, let me see if I can get this FaceTime to work. Last time it went pretty well. So I'm going to give him a call here, make sure we are good to go. How you doing, man? You having fun?
Not really.
No?
No. Can't really do anything.
Your hair looks good.
Haircut.
Your hair looks
Yeah?
good.
You think so?
Yeah, I was actually kind of curious how it was going to look.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna let it grow. I'm just gonna grow it out. I don't think I'm gonna try to cut it or anything myself.
When I was doing all this research on you, I was looking at your old headshots from Grandview, and I was actually kind of impressed.
Because of the hair?
Yeah.
So I actually did so the year that we won nationals, I did me and my roommate made a bet that we wouldn't cut our hair until we won nationals.
Is it so? One of them you had long hair, and then the next one you had a buzz cut. Which one?
Yeah.
So the year you won it.
When I had long hair, that was when I won it, and like we decided not to cut our hair until after nationals. So like we just at one point we're like we're not gonna cut our hair until we win a national title. Luckily, we won it that year, but.
Okay. I never understood that. Like the Boston Red Sox, they did that where they grew out their beards and their hair until they won it.
Oh, really?
But like, wouldn't you want to look good like in your finals?
No, I don't know. I think you just feel like when you have long hair, you just feel scrappy.
I think
like you're just a caveman.
You're like laser beam focus on the championship.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't care what your hair looks like. You're just gonna.
I respect
train. That's kind of the mentality I guess we had. But I didn't know that was a thing. We literally just like came up with it one day. Like we both noticed. It was me and my roommate, so we both won a national title that same year in 2013. But we kind of noticed our hair was getting long, and we're like, hey. You want to have a bet? Like, let's not cut our hair until we win nationals.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's how you did it.
I know. Hey, and we cut our hair every year after that. We never won it again. Neither of us.
Before the coronavirus thing happened, Harrison Barnes, who plays for the Kings, he wasn't going to get a haircut until I think the Kings were 500, and like he was looking scruffy. And I watched a couple of the games, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's he? Because like the Kings are terrible, they're trash. Yeah. And so he got saved by the bell, I think, with this one.
So he cut his hair now?
I don't know. Maybe I mean, that's a good question. I should look up his social media to see if he's got a haircut or not. But
yeah, no, I was actually on the same. So Harrison Barnes and I are the same age. So, and I used to run track, so I remember seeing him. Like, it's crazy to look at him. Like, you see him playing in the NBA and stuff. It's pretty wild. Like, I just remember seeing him as a high school kid, and I didn't know any better.
Yeah,
and you would just see him.
You raced him in track, right?
What's that?
You beat him?
So, yeah, my claim to fame is I actually beat Harrison Barnes in a 200-meter dash.
You just you're supposed to end that right after Barnes. So you're supposed to say, my claim to fame is I beat Harrison Barnes, period.
Yeah.
Don't gotta tell people it's a 200-meter dash.
A crazy thing, another thing is I had So I actually, so I was watching the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
Was it last year? When did the Rams win it? Was that last year?
They got beat by the Patriots, not the Super
Okay.
Bowl, but the one before that.
Sorry. Yeah,
Yep.
they lost. So, was that in 2019?
Yes.
So I was watching the Super Bowl, and I noticed that a jersey said Blythe on it,
Yes. I just talked
and
about
I
him
was
the other day.
like, and I was thinking back, and I was like, there's no way that's Austin Blythe,
Yep.
because I was actually like I was on a Greco national team with him,
Hmm.
and I actually rode with him. I was like I went on a whole trip with him. I spent like 5 days with him and his family. Um, and I was watching, and I don't follow him on social media or anything, so I didn't know what he was up to. Uh, and I was watching the Super Bowl, and I was like, no way. And I just like looked it up, and sure enough, it's Austin Blythe at the freaking Super Bowl.
Did he graduate in 2010?
No, I think he's younger than me. He's a
Oh,
few
okay.
years younger than me. But yeah, he's from Williamsburg. He's a stud wrestler. He's really good.
We actually wrestled in the same tournament as Williamsburg in Benton, Iowa. I told the story the other
Oh
day in
yeah.
the podcast, and I remember, I think it was, I don't know who told me this, but he was wrestling, and somebody that I was sitting by is like, yeah, that guy, he's going to play football at Iowa next year. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, he's going to, like, at the time, he was a 2-time state champ, but then he was going to be a 3-time state champ.
Yeah.
Like, this was his senior year, and he ended up winning it. But I remember, like, not being able to fathom the fact that this guy who's a 3-time state champ was not going to do the sport in college, that he's a 3-time state
Yeah.
champion. But I think he made the right move.
Oh yeah, for sure. But that makes you think. Like think about how many. Yeah, I mean, just how much more competitive that heavyweight division would be.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have somebody, but that's the thing about wrestling that kind of sucks, is like you have those guys that have the ultimatum. They have to either
Have to
choose.
pick.
Yeah, you have to pick one or the other. And yeah, I mean, I think you made the right move too, but it sucks for wrestling. But yeah.
Okay. So before you got on here, I kind of talked a little bit about you, and I think there's kind of like a common theme in your wrestling career. So you come from a family that you're the first wrestler, or your brother wrestled, right?
Yeah, so my older brother wrestled, and that's actually how I got into wrestling. But
He was the first one that you know of, right?
yeah. I mean, he started wrestling, and then that's how I got in the wrestling room. He actually didn't even. I mean, he only wrestled up to his sophomore year.
Okay. But you're the first one that probably raised the bar as much as you have.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's nobody close. There's nobody close in my family at all that is even athletic, and so yeah, I mean, I was basically the only kind of athlete at the time, and it more just started out of boredom, like I was just bored at home.
And
Didn't have anything to
Marshalltown,
do.
huh?
Yeah, Marshalltown, M-Town.
You can only eat so much Xenos.
What's
So
that?
you can only eat so much Xenos, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I went there last. I had some of that last summer. It's a good place, but yeah, there's definitely. I mean, there was really nothing to do, and
Okay.
so I started wrestling, and yeah, I mean I did wrestling, and then I did track. I basically did all the sports. I played football too.
But wrestling was the main one.
Yeah, I actually was better at track than I was at wrestling. But I knew, I knew that I had kind of topped out with
Mhm.
track. I wouldn't get any better. Like I'm 5'6",
Yeah.
so it's like, yeah, this is the fastest. Like I was a state qualifier as a sophomore at track. So I qualified for state and track before I did wrestling. But I just knew that I wouldn't,
You knew wrestling was the one.
yeah, because my improvements for track were just going to be incremental. It's like, shave a few
Right.
milliseconds off your 400, but you're not going to get much better than that.
So kind of like a not traditional wrestling family. Like you didn't really grow up in the sport. You didn't start wrestling until 7th grade. And then you're also from Marshalltown, which I think we can all admit isn't like a
Yeah.
Iowa wrestling powerhouse, and
Oh yeah.
you got all the way to the state final. So you started wrestling 7th grade, and then your senior
Uh-huh.
year you get all the way to the state finals, which I think if you know anything about wrestling, you know how much freaking
Yeah.
better you had to have gotten, especially in 3A too.
Yeah, and like I had talked to you once about like I didn't even have a winning record until I was a sophomore in high school.
Right.
Like I was terrible as
Yep.
a 7th and 8th grader, and even my 9th grade year I was pretty terrible. Um, and yeah, being from basically coming from kind of a program that wasn't like I didn't have good wrestling partners, I didn't have good coaching. Um, but I will say, I guess where I turned the corner was I had a a coach come from who was a Marshalltown graduate, wrestled for Iowa State and UNO. So he came and he kind of took me under his wing and
Who was
got me.
that?
His name's Dan Lovell.
Okay.
He was a state champ. He was a state champ at Marshalltown, and he was also an All American at UNO. And he was actually behind Bono at
Mm.
Iowa State. So I mean, he was a stud, and he lived out in California, and he was coaching high school out there, and he was just visiting his parents. So he like came in and uh, started coming into the practices, and eventually kind of took me under his wing, and started taking me to all these freestyle tournaments. He taught me freestyle. Taught me Greco, and then that's kind of where I made that transition. Like I just started wrestling year round,
And that was
and
what
then
year? What year did you say that was? Like your
that
freshman
was
year?
like it would have been like my freshman summer, basically,
Okay.
where I really started to, I made that transition, and the biggest thing is you go to those freestyle tournaments, and the only people there are state place winners, state finalists,
Hmm.
state champions. Like and then you get a whole another 30, 40 matches in 1 year.
Hmm.
So yeah, you're wrestling some of the best people in the state, and that's what I always tell people is like, any high schooler, it's like you have to wrestle freestyle. Yeah, well, even in college, like you should wrestle. You need to wrestle freestyle,
Yep.
and it's just it's huge. Like I can't stress that enough.
So not traditional wrestling family, not traditional high school, and then you choose to go to Grandview, which I know now they're like super powerhouse,
Yeah,
everything, all the how many times? 9-time champs now? 10,
yeah,
12, 15?
nine
They're
time champs.
by the end of this
Yeah,
video they'll have 2
in
more.
a row.
But when you went there, it was only like the 2nd or 3rd year in the program or something like that.
Yeah, so that would have been the third. I think they started in 2008, so it would have been the third season.
So
Um,
I think that's what I think is kind of interesting about your whole trajectory is like, not a wrestling background, not a wrestling school background, and then you choose a college that year that you were there, you
yeah,
were part of the first year of the 9-peat or whatever it is, correct?
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, no, it was kind of weird how that happened too. Like, because at one point I remember when I was a senior in high school, I kind of told myself if I didn't win state, I wasn't gonna wrestle in college.
Hmm.
I was just gonna start working. And I got so I was a runner up in the finals. I lost to Cody Caldwell. It was Rick Caldwell's um, son. Stud.
South Dakota State assistant coach.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So I mean, he's a stud. So then people started looking at me. I was getting recruited by Iowa State. And obviously a lot of like community colleges and NAIA colleges. But why I chose Grandview, I can't really remember why. I think it was mostly just because it was in Des Moines
Hmm.
and it was close to home. And obviously, like Mitchell's Coach Mitchell, um, the head coach there, he's like a super charismatic guy, and like kind of talked me into it. Um, yeah, and I didn't really have any expectations, going into it.
Hmm.
And I would like you if you would have told me that it was gonna be what it is now. Like I wouldn't have guessed that. It's kind of unexpected, and like looking back on it now is the best. It was the best decision out of all the options I had. Like it was definitely the best decision I made.
Out of all the schools that offered you, or that you were in contact with or anything like that, if you take away like the dollars or any of the situation, just focus on the actual recruiting pitch, which coach had the best, like, used carsman sale, like, pitch to you? Who was the best one at that?
Well, I mean, Iowa State was convincing. I will say,
Jackson?
Iowa State was 100% the pick. The only thing was they wanted me to walk on, and I don't know. It was I literally just kind of made uh, it was kind of random how I made that decision, but for sure, like when I went to Iowa State, I got to see all their facilities. Everything looked awesome. I remember we went out to dinner, and I was sitting there with like Jake Varner, and I was sitting there with like all these really, yeah, obviously like Kevin Jackson and Bono was there at the time and stuff. Like I remember just thinking like, wow, this is like so cool. Like I've always wanted to, like I looked up to these guys, and I remember watching them and stuff. And I thought it was really cool. And I honestly can't remember like what made me,
Pick
uh,
Grandview.
choose Grandview
Right.
over that. But like, um, I think Mitchell's pitch was just it was good too though. Like I don't know if have you ever met Mitchell? Have you ever talked to Mitchell?
Nope. I saw him walk by me at the state fair one time. That was about it.
All right.
But he
We
would
need
have
a
no reason to know who I am. Like,
yeah.
there's no way he's recruiting JV high school tournaments in Southern Iowa.
Yeah.
No,
No, we need to get you. Yeah, we need to. Well,
we have him on here
You're
sometime.
always working. You're always
Yeah,
working when they have duels, but
yeah.
we need to get you. We need to get you to one of those duels, and yeah, like
I want
you
to,
do
but you guys,
video
the
calls.
duels last like 10 minutes because everybody goes out there and gets a fall.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, they usually go out there and just start teching and pinning everybody, and but yeah, if you meet Mitchell, I think you'll probably understand why. Like I chose Grandview over the others. It's just like he knows how to connect with people, and he knows how to motivate people.
Yeah,
Um,
he's doing a good job, that's for sure.
yeah, yeah, for
All
sure.
right, we're gonna play this game now. I did a lot of homework. I tried to research a lot on you. I tried to go all the way back to your seventh grade year, and
Hmm.
I found some stuff. But we're gonna start with your, I believe it's not your most recent match, but the most recent one that you'll probably remember, and then we'll go down. We're going all the way back to high school. Does that sound good? So
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so I'm gonna read a match and tell you kind of the date, kind of set the time and everything, and then you're gonna try to guess the score. But all these you won, so you don't. I'm not gonna
Okay.
bring up any sour memories. Although those are probably ones you'll remember, right?
Yeah. I only remember the wins. I try to erase the losses from my memory.
Yeah. Will you watch now that you're not competing and stuff? Will you watch old footage of when you lost, or are you just like, nah? Why? What's the point?
Hell no, no,
No.
I would
Yeah.
never. I would never. I watch like there's a few highlights. We used to have this guy that would shoot videos at Grandview, and he used to take some really good videos. But I watch those, the ones where I'm winning, where I'm
Yeah.
winning,
The glory
where I'm
days.
hitting somebody or something. But no, I'll definitely not watch losses,
All right. So
especially not because it's not useful.
we're
But
gonna do all right. This is the first one. This should be a pretty easy one. This is a pretty, probably the biggest match of your wrestling career, and probably most people's opinion, or probably your own opinion. I don't know. 2013, the NAIA finals at believe the Jacobson Center um, at the Iowa State
yeah,
Fairgrounds, correct?
I would say Fairgrounds. Yep.
Okay, you wrestling. This is a finals. A kid from Great Falls. His name is Miles Mazurkowicz.
Yeah, Mazurkowitz. Yeah, Mazurkowitz.
Let's see, that's pretty good. I did my homework.
We almost fought the year before at nationals.
Seriously, what?
Yeah,
Just at a match or like at a bar or what?
no, during our match, he like he kind of did some dirty stuff. He was like trying to choke me out and stuff, and the ref wouldn't call it. And we wrestled twice my freshman year, and then we wrestled in the final. So there was a lot of going into that match. There was a lot of like tension and
Had you beat him every time?
he beat me the first time. He beat me in the quarterfinals at nationals my freshman year, and then I beat him on the backside, and then I beat him at. So I got the last laugh.
Nice.
But all right, I think it's 5-2.
5-2. That's correct. That's an
Yes.
easy one.
Yeah.
If you didn't get that one, I was just going to end it because if you don't remember that, you had to have
Yeah,
known I was going to
should
throw
have.
that in there.
But yeah, that was 2 takedowns, 1 escape
Dang, dude.
to 2 escapes. Yeah,
You
I
know,
got 2 escapes.
all right, I'm
Yeah.
just going to tell you, though, you're not getting any like extra credit for guessing the series. All right, the second one is
Yeah.
impressive. The second one is equally impressive. This 2013 as well.
All right.
This is a what do you call it? A try meet. There's 3 teams. Ames, Iowa. You wrestled Iowa State and Drexel. I know you're gonna think that I'm gonna give you the Iowa State match, but since I'm an Iowa State
Shit.
fan, I'm not gonna give you that. I'm gonna do the Drexel match. This kid,
Uh,
Matthew Samato, who's actually pretty good. I
Yep.
was looking at your
Yeah.
stuff. I was like, dang, this kid's kind of a stud. Do you remember the score? If you don't remember the score, I'm gonna give you some hints.
I think I want to say I don't know why, but
I'll say this. I'll say this.
Here, I'm gonna try it. I'm
All
gonna
right.
try it. I'm gonna go for it. 8-3.
Very close. I will say there's a 6-point differential.
All right. I'm not very good at math. 8-2.
The other way.
No. 9-3.
All right. No, you're no. 10-4.
God, I'm
10-4. You scored more points. You got to give yourself more credit.
10-4.
Yeah, 10-4.
Yeah,
That's a good
that
win.
match. I remember that match because I went in there and he was doing really good at the beginning and then he just gassed hard. Like,
That's
I
coaching,
remember,
right?
like, it was really close, and then I was just snapping him down, taking him up, letting him go. Yeah.
Wow. So so you went into it was 2 Division I schools and Grandview NAI school, and not only did your teams do well, but you went 2-0.
Yeah, I went 2-0. Yeah, and I was really that was one of the more exciting duels that we had. Obviously, like when we wrestled these other NAI schools, not to shit on those guys, but like we usually just go in there and would like tech and pin everybody, and then this one was actually I knew it was going to be tough going in there, and Hill and Coliseum, is awesome to wrestle at, especially in a duel.
Yeah, you guys went 1-1, right?
Yeah, we went 1-1. And against Iowa State, it was. I mean, it wasn't like it was competitive. Like we were up there.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't like to hear that, but
yeah. I remember after that happened.
What was the score of the final duel?
I think it was like 20-18 or 21-18 or 22-18.
Okay, yeah. It was close. It was pretty close.
Yeah, I remember that duel. I remember that was like Grandview. You guys had already won some national titles by that time, right? Some team titles.
I can't remember what year was it.
2013, or was that year 1?
Oh yeah, no, we would have won it by then. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys had like won some titles. Brand new program. You guys had like Eric Thompson, who's like a huge recruit out of high school, and then you guys go in and beat Drexel and almost beat Iowa State, and then you guys gone on to do what you've done. I remember that was kind of like the peak, like Grandview, like holy crap, like these guys are like
these guys are for real. These guys aren't messing around.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think they wrestled at a tournament this year too. It was like the Reno tournament, but there was some D1 schools, and I mean they were up there. They were pretty they're competitive, and that's the thing about Mitchell. It's like Mitchell won't take a back seat.
Yep.
That guy's like he wants to win it all. Legitimately, like you talk to him and Mitchell's like he doesn't see those he doesn't see those labels of NAIA and all that. Like he just wants to be the best. Like he legitimately wants to just be the best, and that's what he always preached. And I think that's a good mentality to have for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, this last one. So you're 1 for 2, not bad. Batting average, you're about 500. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I knew this was gonna be tough.
Yeah. This one's gonna be really tough. It's not gonna get any easier.
Oh shit.
All right. So this
All
is
right.
the third and final one that we'll do. The semifinal round 2010 state tournament. You're wrestling Indianola, a kid named Cody Swim.
Mm, mm.
Wells Fargo Arena, Des Moines,
Yep,
Iowa.
yep. Cody Slim was my roommate for 2 years.
Okay, Grandview.
Or no, 1 year. Yeah, he's my roommate. He's still my friend. Like we talk every once in a while.
Do you talk about
Uh,
this?
what's that?
Do you talk about
No, we
this?
don't. We've never talked about this. We talked about this like when I first got there, and then but it was funny because like we went in there and like uh we had Cody Swim, we had me, we had Jimmy Schuessler which was my roommate that also won nationals as a sophomore the same year I did. We had David Kellogg from Dallas Center Grimes, also a state place winner.
Mm-hmm.
So there was all four. All four of us wrestled at 145. So going into it, we're like, oh man, we got all these guys, in one weight class, and then we all kind of spread out. But okay, I know it was a major decision. I know that.
Wrong. 6 point. It's a 6 point difference.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Have you been You've probably been bragging about that for years. Like I majored you.
I have.
It could have been, but hey, I don't know. I'm gonna take your word for it. We'll just say it was because But we're just going off what track wrestling said.
Right.
This is just what maybe there's a table error. I don't know.
6 point. Okay, I think it was 7-1.
No. Scored more points, man. You got to give yourself more credit.
Okay. Oh man. 9-3.
9-3. Yeah.
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 Oh, nice.
That's 6 points, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember now. So I think I put him to his back for 5, and then so I think I got like near fall points and some escapes and another takedown or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to add on that, like Cody's swim before that, he had teched me and majored me. He tech, like the last time we had wrestled before that, he tech faulted me.
Damn.
Like Cody Swim was a stud. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a super technical guy. He's coaching at he coaches in God, I think it's I-35 now.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's just shows the improvements that you can make. And for all the young kids out there, if you're not that good right now, just take the Gustavo Martinez lesson plan and work your way to the top.
I should start an underdogs club.
Yeah, dude, I'll show up, dude. I might see what I can handle, you know.
Yeah, all right.
Well, thanks for joining me today, man.
Is that the last one?
Yeah, that's the last one. Unless you want to just like do episode 2 sometime, we can keep it going.
Yeah, for sure. I need next time we do an episode, I'm gonna do my research on yours.
Dude, no,
and I'm gonna ask you about yours.
I'm gonna track all of them down and make sure they get taken down.
Yeah.
I did want to do an episode one time. I was talking with my buddy. I was like, what other content ideas could we think of? And I was like, we could just like roast my old tapes. I go and watch them sometimes, and I'm like, what was I doing? You know? But yeah, I didn't want to watch it.
Do you have like access to your old matches and stuff?
I'm not gonna tell you where they're at, but but they're out there.
Yeah, I think Grandview has their well, I don't have any from high school. I don't think. But Grandview, we did have we have a software or like a database where we kept all of ours, so I could bring up some of my old ones, but I don't know about any high school ones. But if you would have watched my high school ones, you would have been like, "What the hell is he doing?"
I'll try to find him.
I was pretty terrible.
All right, before I go here, I'm going to have you give, say there's a kid out there, he doesn't know if he should go to Grandview or not. Give him a recruiting pitch, but you got to make it interesting. Don't give me anything boring about how great the school is.
Like a really generic pitch.
No generic pitch. You got to, tell them what the good stuff is, but keep it PG.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think, the biggest pitch around Grandview is just like, yeah, I mean, if you're into, just kind of, our whole philosophy was like hard work, fighting, championship lifestyle, that type of thing, so.
All you got to do, you don't even have to say any words. You know what you do? If You get your ring on and you go right here, buddy. You want to win one of these? You want one of these? Come over here.
You want to be a part of the dynasty? Then yeah, I mean, great. You know, really though, like the biggest pitch is like just talk to Coach Mitchell and you'll see. Like
let him do the talking.
Like you'll know he has that. You know, he just has that that ability. You know, and you know what he's about, and you know, he'll 100% make you a better not only wrestler, you know, person too.
Yeah.
Like he pushes you in every. That's the whole thing. Like he preaches his championship lifestyle. It's in and out, you know, on the mat and off the mat, and yeah, I mean he's really building something special out there. So I that's all I can say. You know, you gotta talk to Mitchell, and
all right,
you'll see why Grandview is what it is. You know, and obviously I should say all the assistant coaches and all the staff. You know, everybody else too. You know, it's a team effort, but what they're building over there, the culture and all that, it's really cool.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on. Hopefully I'll see you soon, but who knows?
Yeah. Well, what are they? Have you gotten any word of like what are they saying about
going back?
Are you back anytime soon? Or
she said today that she's going to talk more about it on Monday, so we'll see.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. I need to get a haircut soon. This thing's getting I mean, it looks okay now, but
looks all right.
It's on the verge of getting out of control. So.
All right, man. Well, when we get back, I'll hit you up.
All right, man.
Talk to you later. See you, buddy.
Yep.
All right. That was a fun episode. Good buddy of mine, Gustavo Martinez. I had a lot of fun talking to him, getting some of those stories. He didn't do too hot on the guessing game, but it's all right. We got a lot out of it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. More content coming next week. That's all I got to say. Thanks for watching.